Well, my name is Alberto Lopez, and I'm a museum educator here at the Science Center in Ithaca, New York. And our C3 project basically was about monitoring nesting birds and using them as indicators of climate change. And to do this, we used Cornell Lab of Ornithology's Project Nest Watch. We visited two middle schools here in Ithaca, and we basically had them build their own nest boxes, which they later on placed in their schoolyards or at their homes also. We also gave them a chance to meet the scientists for the Project Nest Watch project, which was also pretty cool because they got a chance to meet the actual scientists that uses the data that they would send into the Project Nest Watch website. So their learning outcome basically was that by following the different behaviors of these nesting birds, for example, if these birds would come into nest later that what they're usually expected to nest, we're basically trying to correlate if there are any effects between climate change and this difference in their behavior. Why are these birds coming in later, or why are they coming in earlier? So those are the questions that we would pose them, and we would have them try to relate and make those observations. So did the students see reflected in their data any ways on how climate change was affecting the birds, the nests that they were monitoring? Well, that's a very good question. And it was actually one of the biggest challenges we were facing in this project, because climate change is definitely something that you don't see happen in 1 year. It's something that scientists have been studying throughout many years. And we, to make it a little bit more tangible for them, so for them to kind of know what their data is being used for, we thought that it was really important for them to meet the lead scientist of Project Nest Watch. And he later explained how the data that they were sending him was how he was going to be able to use it to make those connections. Those connections that, not only those connections, but many other connections on how climate change are affecting birds, but also any of the other behavior observations that they might have gotten by doing their citizen science project. So that was definitely one of the trickier parts of our project, was making that connection on how their birds, the birds that they were observing, were affected. The other thing that I did to help that a bit more was that I had them compare their data, one school's data with the other school's data, to see if there were some significant differences, if there was something going on in one school that wasn't going on in the other school, just again to make it a little bit more tangible for them, because definitely climate change is a little bit complex. It's not easy for them to visualize, especially when we're trying to look for how climate change is affecting the specific birds that they are monitoring in their nest boxes. The project was great because the Science Center we're trying to get more and more into citizen science projects, and we tried this project in two different settings. We did this in an after-school setting, and we also did this during a classroom setting. So they're two different things. They're two different monsters. They work in two very different ways. So we learned a lot about that. We learned also about the limits that our participants can have, and for example, how detailed their observations could be, their interests, like do they want to continue to do this afterwards, for example. And that's why in the final year, we decided to have them build their own nest boxes and take them home. Before, we only had them place their nest boxes in school, and they would collect their data in school. Well, then we decided, no, we're actually giving them the chance to continue doing this citizen science project, and we gave them their nest boxes for them to take at home. And that definitely ended up being, we definitely had much more positive results just by doing that, because we also got their family involved in the project. So we definitely learned many things throughout the years of this program.